Hello everyone, I'm Sarah Al-Hilali Saab. I have two last names, Sarah Al-Hilali and Sarah Saab, still trying to get used to it. Explain about it later. I am Syrian, I'm living in Turkey, and I'm here with my friend Estella Carpi, who will be joining me in the next episodes of our podcast to cook for you and to show solidarity. Our project's name is called Transregional. Transregional. So it's going to be cooking and preparing dishes from different regions and at the same time advocating for these regions. So I am Syrian. I left Syria in 2015. I was forcibly displaced end of 2015 to Turkey, where I live now. I'm here in Gaziantep, which is in the south of Turkey, near to Syria a lot. But my video is not going to be today about Syria. It's going to be about Lebanon. And my side dish will be Tabouleh. I prepared a little bit of the ingredients. It's mainly parsley. I washed it very well. I'm a public health specialist and I worked a lot in the humanitarian field, in hygiene promotion and nutrition programs. So I washed it with soap, but then I really rinsed it very, very well. I dried it. It has to be very dry. Then we chop it to very fine small pieces. This is the main ingredient of tabbouleh. It has to be very dry because if we cut it and it's a bit moister or has water, it will not be very delicious. It will be mushy or something like that. So that's our first thing to do. It's a very simple dish. I decided to do a side dish that is very simple to start with my first video. We also need bulgur. We call it bulgur in Turkey, but in Arabic it's burghul. I am Arab, I speak Arabic, but for the sake of these videos, we're going to be speaking in English. Burghul, there are two types, or many types of burghul or bulgur. Some of it is very fine, very small. We need the very small one for the tabouleh. We need olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, pepper, salt, lemon, one big tomato, and one small cucumber. To be honest, that's my own personal recipe of tabouleh. Tabouleh is originally, I am sure it is a Lebanese dish, but Syria and Lebanon back in history were one country. So all Syrians, they always eat tabouleh in Ramadan, the month where we fast. In any gathering, a birthday, a picnic, there's always someone bringing tabouleh. And usually it's a very big amount of tabouleh, but I'm making this for two. Unfortunately, my son doesn't eat tabouleh yet, so it's going to be only me and my husband. I bought one baqa of parsley, or hizmeh. I don't know how to say it in English, like one piece of parsley. But usually you need at least double the ingredients if you are more than two people. So, Lebanon. I will chop the tomato very, very small pieces, very fine, and speak to you about Lebanon. The idea of this podcast that my friend Estella, who is Italian, living in London, and I, and many other friends, we will be doing this podcast to advocate for Palestine and Lebanon against the Israeli aggression. Raise your awareness about what's happening in this region. Israel is attacking Lebanon recently, which makes us Syrians very, very sad. For me personally, I have Lebanese relatives living in Beirut. My father's aunt is married to a Lebanese man and has been living in Lebanon for a very long time. So my father's cousins are all Lebanese, and thank God they are safe for now, and I hope they stay safe. My father still lives in Aleppo, and he invited them to come to Aleppo to feel safer, but for now they refused. In 2006, we invited them to Syria. It was like the third time I meet them. They always come to Syria and we go to Lebanon. We have great time together. I have many Lebanese friends as well. At school, when I was in Syria living in Aleppo, because Lebanese and Syrian people, they get married to each other because it's almost one country. So for us Syrians, Lebanon is like a part of Syria, or like the same as Syria. I have been to Beirut for like 5 times at least. I love it. My Lebanese friends, they don't all come from Lebanon where I met them. Many of them, I met them in France, in Turkey. Some of them now live in Jordan, in Germany. And for all of them, I want to show solidarity and wish you the best. Let me pause the video because my son just woke up from his nap. Okay, I'm back. I'm now squeezing a lemon on top of the bulgur because we have to soak the bulgur for a while. The more we soak it, the better and more delicious it gets. So I'm going to be soaking it in lemon. Some people soak it in water, but it will be more delicious if you soak it in lemon. I will tell you now more about Tabouleh after I have told you a lot about Lebanon and what it means to me. One minute. Okay, so Tabouleh. I will talk now more about Tabouleh. Tabouleh is a Lebanese dish, side dish, Lebanese and Syrian, and many other countries, that has many versions. Maybe in some versions people don't add cucumber, but I like adding a smoked cucumber. When I lived in France, there was Tabouleh in all the French markets, but it wasn't at all the Lebanese or Syrian version. I think it was kind of Moroccan because it had couscous and other ingredients that we don't put. And everyone who hasn't yet tasted Tabouleh, I highly recommend it. It's very easy to prepare. It's fulfilling because it has bulgur, like especially for vegetarian people. You can cook fateh, which I was planning to cook today, but I didn't have tahine or hummus, so I said I will do it in another day. But you can like have 2 dishes of fateh and another vegetarian dish, and mix with Tabouleh. It can always be ready in 15 minutes. I'm taking my time now because I'm talking to you about Lebanon and I should talk to you about Palestine. This idea of Transregional kitchen is in solidarity with Palestine and Lebanon. And even Syria. You know, Syria is also under attack of Israel. Like very long time ago, they took parts of the Syrian land as well. And they have taken one part, small piece of land yesterday even. I think the news about Syria is less because the aggression on it is much less than Palestine or Lebanon. Especially Lebanon recently, it was shocking for all of us. Even the Patriots attack, which started things in Lebanon, it was also in Syria. I don't know if people know. But I think Hezbollah soldiers in Syria, Damascus and rural Damascus, many of them were also injured in this Patriots bombing thing or explosive device. So when I was a child, I was raised on this topic. Like we always watched the news. Our parents were watching news, were discussing what's happening in Israel, in Palestine by Israel. So it is a very long story. Many, many years ago, it started with the occupation. And even Syria, Lebanon, like being one country and becoming 2, was also like done by the British and French occupation very long time ago. So we hope to raise awareness in this video, and by cooking and making delicious Lebanese, Palestinian, Syrian dishes, we will be showing solidarity. Because for me, like speaking about Lebanon while cooking or preparing Tabouleh and eating Lebanese dishes, it brings very, very nice and emotional memories. Once I was in France, where I did my master program. I lived there for 1 year and a half, and in the first couple of weeks, I wasn't able to find the Syrian bread, which is the Lebanese bread. And I remember I wrote on Facebook, like, And my Lebanese friend, on the next day, she brought me Lebanese bread or Syrian bread, which is the same, and she told me where to buy it from. So for me, when I prepare tabbouleh, it's not cooking, and talk about Lebanon, it feels like I'm paying her back, her nice deed, by doing another nice deed. And I feel like upset, 1 year of being upset about what's happening in Palestine. It has been happening, of course, for many, many years, but it reached a level that is very horrible, inhumane, and rude. It's very, very rude. So I felt powerless. I felt very sad, like many other people did. And then my friend Estella came with this idea, and I was really excited for it, which is to advocate and show solidarity by cooking and talking about these issues. So I wish you join us. I'm planning to invite friends to join us by cooking. Like I have many Palestinian friends who would love to join us in other episodes. And also Iraqi, Egyptian. We get to know their meals and their opinions about what's happening and hear their sides of the story. Like what's happening in Egypt right now in terms of solidarity with Palestine and Lebanon. I'm mixing together I was about to say maydanoz, which is parsley in Turkish. Parsley, and now I will mix it with bulgur and lemon. I'm trying to remember if we add mint to tabbouleh, but I think not. Most probably not. A very small portion. The lemon smells very good. The more it has lemon, for me, the more it's tasty. I didn't add all the tomato because I felt it's enough. My portion of parsley wasn't that big. And maybe I can, like for decoration, we usually add the tomato here and like lettuce or cucumber on the sides. So I can use the leftover tomato for that. Very, very, very little of pepper. There is very important ingredient that very common to be added to tabbouleh, which is onion. But my husband doesn't like onion, so I'm not adding it. But it makes it much more delicious, according to my taste. For the olive oil, I'm not going to add all that because I have a small portion of salad. I think I'm going to add 3 big spoons of olive oil. Today, to be honest with you, I have a meal left over from yesterday, which is not a traditional Middle Eastern one. It's just chicken and potato. So next to it, we will eat this delicious tabbouleh. But I hope in the next videos, I will cook a main meal of Middle Eastern food. The idea of this advocacy podcast is very nice because I cook at least twice a week because I have a little boy and I love eating healthy. I don't love cooking that much. I'm not an expert. That's why I was shy to chop the parsley in front of you. I hope you enjoyed it and see you. مع السلامة.